What's up guys, and welcome back to 8 Count. So today we're going to be talking about the heavyweight division again. More particular, we're looking at what's happening with the Joshua situation and also what's happening with the Chisora situation. So firstly, we're going to be talking about Anthony Joshua. It just came out recently that he's announced that he's training with a new coach and that he has accepted the rematch for Usyk. We're looking at the August mark. I know it's either late August or mid-August. So obviously Usyk needs a time to train and get back into the swing of things after being out in the war in Ukraine. So speaking on Joshua, today he has announced news that he is signing with Dazn, which means that he is cutting his ties with Sky Sports and he's signing a big contract with Dazn. This is massive. Joshua is someone who's always been loyal. We've seen him loyal to Sky Sports throughout all his career, and we've also seen him loyal to his trainer Rob McCracken. And all of a sudden, after this loss to Usyk, everything seems to have shaken up. We've seen him now off early doors after that fight. He didn't announce who he was going to train with, but he did say he was going to try and, look at his options and see if he needs a new trainer. And only recently have we now found out. It's a couple months now till August, and he's probably in the full swing of things with his trainer. We would assume so, and this is where he is. So with the Dazn post, he posted onto his Twitter, he said, "New phase in my career, new training team and new broadcaster." People have been speculating this and they've been saying, is this Joshua just going for a money grab? Is he seeing that his career is coming to an end? Obviously he's taken 2 losses now. Is this the end of Joshua? Is he trying to get as much money as possible? I don't think it is. I think he might have realised a lot of things. He might have realised that, alright, I've taken a big loss and I need new changes. And it might just be a thing of just switching up everything in his career. Obviously, like I said, the trainer changed, and I feel like it was something that was needed. Joshua is someone who didn't have much of an amateur career, and he went straight to the Olympics. He fought there, and then he went straight into a big professional career. His professional career's got one of the best resumes out of the heavyweight boxers. It may not have gone as well as he liked with the 2 losses under his belt, but with losses, the only thing you can do is learn. If you take them as something more than that, then it's just going to eat you up. But he came back from the loss against Ruiz and he went and dominated that fight. I think with Usyk, we've got more of a hard card on our fight on our hands. Usyk is someone who's had a huge amateur career, and it's going to be a spectacular fight, especially we want to see how Usyk's coming out, see where his mindset is after the war. Moving on, we're going to be talking about Chisora. So Chisora is another interesting one. Obviously, we've seen that he took the loss to Joseph Parker. People wanted more. People want Chisora to be this guy who's, goes out, he wins these big fights, and then he just kind of keeps elevating his career and gets a title shot at the end of the day. But unfortunately, it didn't come to that. He lost to Whyte. He's lost to Chisora now. He's lost to Joseph Parker. And where does his career go? Pulev is where he goes. And that's the next fight for Chisora. So where do we see Chisora with that fight? I can see him doing work in that fight. I can see him going out and winning that. Like, Chisora is someone who's never stopped his pace. Like, he's always maintained a level of fighting in all of his fights, and I think we're going to see the same in this one. I feel like it's more of a stepping stone to where he wants to go. Obviously, there was stuff like him breaking America coming about, like him fighting Ortiz, the 2 granddads of the UK and the US colliding and giving us the spectacle that we all kind of want to see. But yeah, like there's other fighters in the mix. There's Deontay Wilder. Obviously, Wilder's had a big break after his loss to Tyson Fury, and where is he going to go from there? People were speculating whether he's going to retire. Only recently he came out and said that's not the case. He's trying to come back to the ring. He's had his spiritual cleansing and he's coming back. So I think Wilder coming back is very good for the boxing sport, for the heavyweight division. Obviously, there's a lot happening. Tyson Fury obviously winning his fight against Dillian Whyte. He announced his retirement after that fight. But then again, there was speculation coming out saying that he was also going to be there for the Usyk Joshua fight, and the winner of that was automatically going to be announced with Tyson Fury coming into the ring. He ruled that out on Twitter the other day too. We do know that that fight is supposed to be held in Saudi or Abu Dhabi, somewhere along those lines. The big money fight. But yeah, back to Chisora. Another name which was mentioned was Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, Chisora 3. I think that would be a great fight for both fighters. We know obviously Dillian Whyte's come off a disappointing loss to Tyson Fury. I don't think he gave it his best. There were parts where he looked alright, but ultimately it wasn't the Dillian Whyte we all wanted to see at the fight. But again, I think the heavyweight division was always a division that looked promising. There's always big fights ready to be made, and it feels like everybody's up for it. I think what I would like to see is Joshua versus Usyk, obviously happening in August. I would love to see Usyk versus Tyson Fury, but I think everybody wants to see AJ versus Fury. Like, everybody knows that that's the big heavyweight fight. It'll be one of the biggest heavyweight fights in even boxing in the last God knows how many years. Obviously I want that to happen. I think with the Chisora situation, I would love for him to fight Ortiz. I think that should be like, I feel like Chisora just has so much in the tank, but I think there comes a time in their career where you need to call it a day, and I think his final fight against Ortiz and Ortiz's final fight against Chisora would be a perfect way for both those fighters to call it a night. I do want to see Dillian Whyte back in again with a big fighter, and I feel like Deontay Wilder might be that man. Obviously, there's guys like Joseph Parker on the sidelines who's just signed a new deal with Boxer. So I think we've just got a big year ahead of us in terms of heavyweight boxing, and I'm ecstatic to see what happens. But guys, let me know what you think of all the news in the heavyweight division. Obviously, there's so much coming out, left, right, and centre. Every day things are changing. So let me know what you think. What kind of fights do you want to see, and who do you think's going to win out of the fights I just mentioned? I'll be back again soon.